Welcome to the month of the mutants.
Thanks. And welcome also to Become the Teapot. I'm Ian.
And so am I.
And as promised, we will be starting the new year with X-Month. Yes, the month of January is going to be dedicated entirely to Marvel's Merry Mutants. Don't worry though, we'll still be discussing a film and a related comic book. The only difference is a 300% spike in Hugh Jackman. First up, we'll be discussing the year 2000's X-Men, which is not great for this podcast because it's not based on any particular comic. So instead, I'm giving Ian a crash course in X-Men history with Ed Piskor's X-Men Grand Design from 2018. A retelling of the early days of the team, the comic packs an extraordinary amount into its slim episodes. But don't worry, there won't be an exam. Like X-Men, but like a test. Reading these for the first time then, how good of an introduction do you think they were to the X-Men of this era?
Oh, I think it worked really well. It's a great comic to learn the history of the X-Men.
Yeah.
As we said, it does fly through things very quickly, but you don't miss out on that much. It's not like you put it down, you go, oh, that didn't end right, or they missed out this bit. It still flows together.
But I would say it rushes through these things no quicker than reading a Wikipedia entry, which a lot of people do. They want to know the history of the X-Men, so they'll go read a Wikipedia entry, whereas you can pick up this comic and they'll tell you the history of the X-Men and they'll rush through it, but you will get a sense of the characters and the plot lines in a way that makes sense. So I agree with you. I think they make a really good entry-level X-Men read.
I think that I definitely take episode 1 and 2 as a whole, and then you've got to take X-Men number 1 as its own thing. I know it's been recolored and redesigned slightly, but different era, different sort of style.
Oh yeah, I mean they're very much included as bonuses. You know, in all 3 of the volumes that you would buy, the Treasury, the oversized editions, which are really nice, big, bigger than my one, and mine's an omnibus, which is already oversized. It comes with an additional issue, but those are just bonuses. They're little additional things you can read. They're little Easter eggs, if you will, and you know what that means.
Cue the music.
Ian's egg hunt. Ian's egg hunt. Ian's egg hunt.
I'm not yoking you. Right, so this week, to be honest, not that many in there that I can see. I think because, as we've already said, they're not trying to set up a sequel. So maybe they didn't sort of sprinkle as many Easter eggs in as they would normally.
Yeah.
First thing that I have to say is Stan Lee makes his first appearance in a Marvel movie.
This is the first one, is it?
All his previous appearances were in TV shows or made for TV films.
Or Mallrats.
For example, The Trial of the Incredible Hulk from 1989. And also, in this film, it appears that he likes to have mustard on his hot dog.
Hawkeye will be pleased.
I didn't even think about that. Next one, speaking of appearances, the guy who drops off Rogue at the start of the film is actually played by George Boozer, who is the voice of Beast in X-Men, the animated series.
That's good.
And finally, the character of Henry Gyrich, which is Senator Kelly's aide, he's obviously replaced by Mystique, and then Magneto says, Mr. Gyrich has been dead for some time. But if you listen closely, right at the end of the film, there is a news broadcast that says that he was mauled by a bear. So I take that to be Sabretooth.
Yeah. It's a shame, really, because Henry Gyrich from the comic book is a more of a mainstream character. He sort of appears on and off quite a lot. He's sort of a general foil in the government for the Avengers and the X-Men. And yeah, he was very much written out very quickly in this.
Yeah.
But again, I suppose that's to do with the not planning sequels thing. But yeah. Is that all you got? Is that the Easter eggs for today?
That's the Easter eggs, but also what I'll do, I'll fold in some foreshadowing. Dun, dun, dun.
Ironically, I was not prepared for this.
So, going back to that van, on the door of that van, it says Liberty, foreshadowing the end of the film. And then when Sabretooth walks into the layer they've got, Toad is spray painting something green, which we can't quite see what it is. Again, that goes the end of the film. And something that I did find interesting, actually, is when Logan first meets Charles, on the blackboard, there is a diagram that includes the radius of curvature and the focal plane, which is then used later on by Scott when Jean holds up his visor and he shoots it towards her face, but then it comes off at a curved angle and then hits Sabretooth.
Okay, that's cool. One thing I did wonder about that Statue of Liberty scene is, did they have to remove the hand from the Statue of Liberty and put a new one on without anyone noticing?
Yeah, I guess so. Which I don't know how that works.
No, maybe just the torch top, but it's still not like that's going to go unnoticed, you would have thought.
I know the reason.
Okay.
Because of magnetism.
Yeah.
There you go.
Thank you very much for those tasty, tasty eggs. Next episode, X-Month continues with, yes, you guessed it, 2003's X-Men 2, or X2 if you're feeling lazy, or X2 X-Men United if you're a fan of subtitles and like your films to sound like football teams. Until then, stay safe, keep reading comics, and we hope to see you next time. Yeah, no, I'll put that in later, mate. You don't have to say it.